Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a prom makeup look. The first thing I'm going to be doing is using these formula wipes, getting all the mascara off. Then I'm going to be using the Cetaphil moisturizer and just putting that on my face. Then I'm going to be using the Smashbox Primer, and I'm going to be applying this along with this orange corrector. And I apply it on my eyelids first just because I'm going to be starting with my eyeshadow, so I want to make sure I correct the blue veins out of my eyes. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. And basically, if you guys want to see a more in-depth tutorial, I can show you guys, but this is just my fast demo of it. I basically do a perimeter and then I fill it in and then I use a little sponge to clean up around the edges. Then I'm going to be using the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea and just putting this on top of that orange corrector just to give it a skin tone base. And I apply it above my eyebrow as well just to clean it up a bit. The next thing I'm going to be doing is going into the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and using that first shade to set my eyes. And then I'm going to be using tape for this look, so I basically put tape on the back of my hand and I rip it off a few times so it's not so sticky. And I line it up underneath my eyes. Then I'm going to go in the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette for the eyes. I'm going to be using that first shade and just applying this right in my crease. And you want to make sure it's very blended, so as you'll see, I'll keep blending it as I apply it. And then I'm going to go into that shade for the Kat Von D palette and just putting in the same spot. This is the warm color, so it's just going to give it a little bit more depth. And I just keep applying it, keep blending, because you don't want any harsh lines. This isn't really a cut crease, so. Then I'm going to use this mud pigment. It's just a white pigment for a base. You guys can use any white pigment that you have. The NYX Milk Pencil works great as well. This is just what I had, so I'm going to be using that white eyeshadow and just setting that so it doesn't move around. And I'm going to be going in with Morphe palette, and I'm going to be using that shade right there, and this is going to be going on my outer crease. It's like a burnt orange color, and I'm going to be going with that shade, putting this on the inner lid, and this has more sparkle to it. And then I'm going to be going with that shade and putting it on my outer V. This is going to give it a little bit more depth because it's a darker color. Then I'm going to be going with that really light shade and putting this on my inner corner of my eyes, and this is just going to bring some light so it's not so dark. And I bring this a little bit to the crease. Then I'm going to go into that Kat Von D palette and use that orange color. You could use any orange color, but this is a little bit brighter than the richer red that I was using, like that one. And I'm going to be putting that a little bit over it. Then I'm going to be taking that brown and basically just going in my outer corner with it, just smoke it out a bit. And this is a matte shade, so it'll give it more depth. And then I'm going to go in that black and just go into the outer V with it. And I did take off the tape. My eyes were getting really watery, so. Then I'm going to be using a sponge, and I'm going to be wetting it with the Evian spray. And this is just to help clean up and make it very sharp. Then I'm going to go with that Corrector orange color and go underneath my eyes. This is because I'm just going to be starting my face makeup, and I always start with the Corrector first. So I'm going to be using a sponge and a brush to blend it out. Then these are my two favorite combos, the MAC Masterclass foundation with the Rainforest of the Sea. And I mix those two evenly and I just apply it all over my face. You want to make sure when you use a foundation it doesn't have any SPF, especially with prom, because you don't want any flashback in photos. So then I basically take the same brush and I kind of go over like my eyebrows a little bit just to clean them up. Then I'm going to be using the Rainforest of the Sea with the Clinique 2-in-1 foundation and basically using that as my highlight, and the Milani foundation for my contour. I'm going to list everything down below because I know it's kind of fast, so I hope it's not too fast, but it was over an hour without editing, so I try to make it a little bit faster. I'm just using a sponge to blend everything out. Then I'm going to use a setting powder. You can use any one you want, and this is just set underneath my eyes, anywhere that I basically highlighted. And you want to make sure that you're using the right one, nothing with HD, because HD gives flashback, so you'll see white powder on camera. Then I'm going to go with the NYX bronzer, and I'm just putting this on the perimeter of my face. I'm going to be leaving on the setting powder, but not too long. Then I'm going to go in with the blush and basically putting those on the apples of my cheeks, and then I'm going to wipe off all that powder. Remember, no HD powder, it gives flashback, and that's the worst thing you can do really with pictures. So now Evian spray, spraying my face, and then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Nicole Gueirro palette. I'm going to be putting the middle one and the bottom one, and then the one on the left, and I'm going to be using a little bit of the white one for the highlight. Then I'm going back on the Kat Von D palette and using that orange one, same thing as I did for the crease. And then I'm using that Milani glitter and putting that on my inner corner of my eyes, just to brighten it up. Then I'm just going to be using a gel liner, and this is just to give myself a sharp wing liner. You don't really need wing liners, whatever you really prefer. I just decided that I wanted to do this for this look. My prom, I also use wing liner, and I like that because when you wear eyelashes, it kind of hides the where you apply the glue and everything. So I use the Allure lashes, and those what those look like. With that outrageous mascara by Sephora, then I'm gonna be mixing those two and applying them on my lips. This is the final look. So if you guys are interested in seeing any more prom looks, please let me know below. Thank you guys for watching.